Hey guys, how's it going? Ian Alexander here from RepairTech. Thank you for joining the webinar. If you're watching this, it means that you missed or weren't able to attend the webinar between RepairTech and RepairShopr. The recording was a bit choppy at the very beginning, so I'm re-recording the first 15 minutes or so. So anyway, to give you a recap, what we did in this webinar was we went over RepairTech and the software that we sell called TechSuite, and how that can help you in your computer repair process, and we just went through a really quick demo of that. We also had Robert show us RepairShopr, and so you'll actually see that after I'm done recording this first 15 minutes for you. So just to jump right in here, let's explore RepairTech and what we make. My name is Ian Alexander. I'm one of the co-founders here at RepairTech. We've been helping computer repair shops around the world automate and streamline their computer repair process for quite a while now, and we've just been working on improving the products and talking to more customers ever since we launched in October 2012. So the way that we help repair shops is through TechSuite, which includes 3 different utilities. The first is called TechUSB, and that stands for Windows Automated Repair Utility, and that is just a Windows application that I will show you in a second that you can run on all of your clients' computers. And it allows you to simply select what you want to run ahead of time, click Start, and then you can come back to a report, and everything will be fully automated in between there. So everything that's currently on your checklist, things like Combo Fix and Malwarebytes, and all other applications, we have over 350 commonly used applications within TechUSB. Those are the things that are contained there, and you can just streamline your whole process that way. So I'll show you that in just a second. The other thing you get is called TechUSB, and TechUSB is a bootable computer repair operating system. And you install it to a bunch of USB drives that you can have laying around your shop. Anytime you have a client that comes in with a computer that needs to be serviced, you can stick a TechUSB in it and boot into TechUSB, and then you can automate your hardware diagnostics and malware removal from outside of the host operating system. So essentially what it does is it allows you to select some hardware diagnostics and malware removal tools, and then you just click Start. Works the same way TechUSB does. It automates the whole thing, and then you get a report. And both the reports from TechUSB and TechUSB can be uploaded to the third part, which is called TechPortal. And TechPortal is your online dashboard for computer repair. You can view all your reports there. You can see what's running on the bench at any given time across all the different computers. You can change all your settings and set up integrations like the one we have with RepairShopr. So I'll show you all 3 of these things, and we'll just do a quick demo. One thing to note is that I'm not going to go as in-depth as I normally would, just because this webinar also includes RepairShopr. So if you want a more in-depth training session, you can sign up for a free trial, and we provide free training sessions 3 times a week. So that is available to you. So let's dive into TechUSB. So this is the first screen of TechUSB. On the left-hand side, this is the tools page. On the left-hand side, you'll see that there are different categories of tools. As I go through them, the tools box refreshes, and you can see that the description down here also changes as I go through the tools. I can click this, and it'll pop out another tool description box. And as I go through it, it will update there. On the right-hand side is the queue, and the queue is a list of tools that we want to run on this computer. So what I can do here is I can make a queue for us to run, and we will just see what it looks like. So I'll run some things that I know go quick. So we can get some information about the computer, maybe some information about my battery and my hard drive. I'm running this demo in VirtualBox, so it's going to show up as VirtualBox hardware, just so you know. I'm going to clear the proxy settings and back up the registry. I can click and drag, and this will go up to the top, so I can change the order of the things in my repair. I'm going to run Hijack This, which is a tool I'm sure you're all familiar with, and we can run Registry Investigator. And why don't I delete some stuff here? We can delete these shortcuts, and then we can clear out the recycle bin. So we have this list of tools that we want to run, and what we can do is we can actually save this list as a preset. So I can save this as demo preset. And what that allows us to do is, instead of having to recreate this queue every single time, So let's say this is a malware removal queue, and every time you have a customer that comes in that needs their computer cleaned up because it has malware on it, instead of you having to recreate this, you can simply go in and load demo preset, and there you go. It'll be right there. So the advantage to having presets like this is that you can not only fix computers faster, but you can also standardize your repair processes, and you can train technicians faster by using presets. You can say, hey, in this situation, I want you to run these tools. And because it's fully automated, it enables them to be more consistent and have a process in place that's standardized and not have the, I guess, the temptation to skip steps. So we have this queue here that we've built. Let's go ahead and click Start. The first thing that it's going to do is it's going to create a system restore point, and then it'll go through each tool, downloading it if necessary, then running it. So just download a Disk Smart View, for example, and then it moves on to the next tool. And at the end here, we're going to have a full-fledged HTML report that we can use to view the results, and we can even print it out, give it to our clients, keep it for records, whatever we need to do. So here we have the report. It's being uploaded to Tech Portal right now. Now that that is done, what I'm going to do is I'm going to open this up in the default browser. It's just a better viewing experience than having to go through here on the small little screen. So here we have the report. As you can see, I've custom branded it with this really horrible logo that I spent 3 seconds in GIMP making. Then we get some information about this computer. So this ticket number, for example, I set in TechWater, and that ticket number actually corresponds to an active ticket on RepairShopr. And when we go and look at RepairShopr, you'll see that that ticket number is there, and this report will have been attached to that ticket. So you can also see how many tools were run and how long it took. We get some standard information at the top of the reports, these 4 boxes, information about the operating system and hardware, network info, alerts. If you don't want to see one of these portlets, you can collapse it using this arrow. And then below that, we get a listing for every single tool that was run on the computer. So, for example, we back up the registry. Here you can see where it was backed up to. In addition to that, we wanted to get the applications installed on the computer, so you can see that here, and a version number, and in some cases, the vendor's URL. We're going to get product keys, what in startup. There's tons of information in here about what's running on the computer when it boots, battery info view. Disk Smart View, again, I'm using VirtualBox, so it doesn't actually give me any values, but this would say pre-fail or old age or fail or whatever. Clear proxy settings, commonly used when you had malware on the machine in order to make it so that you can access the internet. Hijack this, I'm sure you're all aware of. Here's a standard log for it. Registry Investigator is a tool that we worked on in partnership with Ken Dwight, the virus doctor. And what he does is he teaches repair shops like you guys to more efficiently remove malware. So he teaches these virus remediation training workshops. And what we did with him was we worked to take his process that he teaches and turned it into a fully automated tool. So it goes to the registry, finds values in the registry that are commonly modified by malware, and attempts to delete them or reports them to you, all kinds of stuff, and it's a very helpful tool. In addition to that, you saw that I deleted those 2 desktop shortcuts, so it cleared 2.2 kilobytes of space. So this is a pretty standard TechWater report. As you can see, they're fully responsive here. You can view it on a tablet or on a phone. And now that we've seen what a standard repair looks like, I guess it's worth mentioning that there's a lot more to TechWater. There's other tabs here that I won't go into in full detail because this webinar is meant to be kind of an overview and an introduction to how these things can help you in a repair process. But suffice it to say, we have a data migration tool here that can help you back up user profiles. There's all kinds of configurations in here that you can use to change the way that, for example, the malware scanners work or what drives you're scanning. You can update all of the tools that you are using within TechWater very easily with one click. You can add custom links there for things that you go to often, like your website. You can sync your config file, so your config file contains all of the different settings, presets, custom apps, which I'll go into in a second. It and all these different options here are all contained within the config file. You can actually sync that to TechPortal so that your clients, or not your clients, sorry, your technicians can all have the same setting. So we'll see that in a second. Right, so custom apps is one thing that I do want to go over. So we have over 300 commonly used utilities in here, stuff that you're already familiar with and some stuff we've built and some other random open source stuff. So, however, we don't have everything. We don't have every single tool. We've chosen not to have every single tool because some of them have redundant use cases. And so if you have a tool that you want to use or something you've built yourself, you can add it as a custom app here. And what you're going to want to do is just specify an app name, and you can download the files from the internet or use a local file. And let's specify an app name here. Once we move on, then you'll see that you can browse for the executable. And once you've done so, you can specify command line parameters, which operating systems it works on, where to pull logs from, all kinds of stuff, and then it will show up here like any other tool in the category that you picked. So it's pretty straightforward and allows you a lot of flexibility in the tools that you're using. Right, so that is a general overview of TechWater. There's a lot of questions later on in the video about it, so if you're curious about anything, it's probably covered in that. Let's move on here to TechUSB. And as I mentioned, TechUSB is a bootable operating system that you put on a USB drive. And because of that, it's very difficult to actually demo within a Windows computer. So what I typically do here is I just show you a screenshot of what it looks like once you boot into it, and that gives people a pretty good idea. So as you can see, it's a full-fledged desktop environment. It's got everything from, you know, a partition editor, you can open up a terminal, you can browse for files, you can edit, you can view smart status stuff, you can make text files, whatever you want to do. It's a full desktop environment. The main thing that we added to it is this TechUSB Automator application, which is right here on the desktop, and it's popped up here. What it allows you to do is in the same way that you did with TechWater, you just select what you want to run, and you can see that there are 4 different hardware diagnostic tools here and 2 malware scanners. You enter a ticket number and a customer name. You click Run. The whole thing is fully automated, and this is what it looks like while it's running. At the end, you get a report with success or failure or how many infections were found, and some system info, and below that a listing for every single tool. So it's very straightforward and easy to use. The reports also get uploaded to TechPortal. And really, that's all there is to it. You just make a bunch of different TechUSB drives, and you have them around your shop. So with that being said, let's move on to TechPortal. I'll just log into my demo account here. So on TechPortal, there's just a couple things I want to show you. The first is this On the Bench feature. On the Bench is really cool. It allows you to see what's running at any given time. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to run a tool here that I know takes a while. We can run disk defrag. So here what you'll see is that it automatically will refresh the screen. You don't have to actually refresh anything. It has Ajax built in. So after a certain amount of time, it'll tell you exactly what's running. And so you can see that there. After about 2 minutes, it'll even show you a screenshot of the computer so you can see what's going on that computer. And this is really helpful, especially if you have multiple computers on the bench. It allows you to have a bird's eye view of exactly what's happening. Moving on here, the downloads page. So this is where you actually get the applications. There's 2 main downloads, TechWater and TechUSB Creator. So TechWater is just a Windows executable. It can be used within a remote session. It can be used from a USB drive, and it can be used on the system drive. It's completely portable. So you can just download that. That is this application that I just showed you. The second is TechUSB Creator, and that is a little application. It tells you to put in a USB drive, click Start, and then you will have a TechUSB made for you. Let's move on here to the reports page before we go and look at the RepairShopr integration. So here is the report that we just worked on a couple minutes ago. So I can go ahead and view that report, and you'll see it's the exact same one that we went over together. So it's the same thing here. One of the cool things is that once it's uploaded, you can actually modify it. So we have this default view, which is the one you've seen, but you can also create other views with different information in them. So you just select what you want, and mostly just checkboxes. And so I've made one here for customer-facing reports. And so customer-facing reports have a lot less detail in them. They don't have how many tools were run or how long it took. As you can see, it doesn't have the alerts either, and it just has a summary. It's just the name of each tool that was run. And this way, you can send this to your clients, and they don't need to know exactly what was going on. It's just much more simplified for them. So that's pretty cool. Lastly, what I want to talk about here is integration. And integrations are something that have been really great for us. We've enjoyed working on them. Our favorite one, of course, is RepairShopr. So we've integrated with a bunch of different CRMs. The way that those integrations work is if you have an active ticket, say in RepairShopr, in this case it was ticket number 11494. If you enter that when you run TechUSB, then it will sync that report once it's uploaded to the Tech Portal. So in RepairShopr, when I show you Robert's part of this webinar, you'll see that that ticket has shown up in, or sorry, that report has shown up in ticket 1194. And that is really cool. It allows you to streamline your whole repair process and have all the information in one place for your customers. And we're going to be expanding on that integration as well. So there's a lot more here to show you guys about TechSuite, but I just wanted to give you a very quick overview of it. And now I'm going to resume the actual recording of the webinar because this side was a bit choppy. So I'm going to turn it over now to Robert, and he's going to show you about RepairShopr and how that can help you operate your computer repair business and grow it.
And then he grew into like an MSP and also did some cell phone repair. And that's really what we like to serve in terms of the market. We see that there's a progression there where a lot of people, maybe start out, say, in their garage or something, working for friends, and then grow, have a storefront, and then start adding that recurring revenue with business clients. And so that's kind of the continuum that we support. And just at a high level, like our end goal is really to help you increase your bottom line. So the two pieces of that are increasing efficiency through like really smooth workflows, and then also helping you grow your revenue, both by allowing you to pull leads into the system and then also being able to kind of regenerate jobs by, we've got a marketing module that allows you to keep in touch with your clients in an automated way so that keeps you getting jobs from that user base. It allows you to keep in touch with them. So I'll just jump in and start really I'll just walk through really quickly a job kind of start to finish. So let me go in and start a new customer here, and I'll just add one here. This is all customizable, so we've got different kinds of phone numbers. Really, of course, good to grab email addresses. This is going to allow you to do that follow-up. We've got referral tracking if you want, so you can track where people came from. Even if there's like a customer referral, you can search your database and say, oh, they came from this customer. Tracking business information, and then additional fields. So one of the things that, in addition to being kind of an all-in-one platform that pulls in lots of different integrations, we also know that the customization is really important. So we've added the ability to add like specific customer types. For instance, maybe this is a residential customer, and then these are fields you can create from our custom field builder here that if you want to track additional details. I'm going to go ahead and create just a customer and ticket for this. That's going to bring us to the new ticket screen here. So I'll just say that we've got a virus here. And so this is a virus issue. And then we've got canned messages. So the platform is designed to allow you to have complete control over how much communication you do with your customers. and then also to make that really seamless. So here I can just pop in a quick message that I've pre-written. This also creates consistency. If you've got a couple texts in your shop, everybody's using the same tone with the customers. You can write that in advance. And then if you want, you don't have to email that. And there's a bunch of other things. You can add assets to tickets. You can add appointments. So I'm going to kind of keep it simple and move through this, but then we can answer some of those questions if they come up later. Additionally, you can put in custom fields. So if you want to track the steps along the way on a virus removal or something, you can create custom lists there. When I create the ticket, then that's going to bring me to an intake form. And the idea here is that you can have your customers agree to the terms for your repair. So this gives them a chance to read this. We integrate with a Topaz signature pad. This, of course, works on a tablet really well, or you can also just have them sign paper. So any of those options. And when you accept the terms, that's going to bring you to the ticket. This is the ticket screen, and there's a lot of information here. This progress bar is optional, but if you want, you can use it to kind of go through the steps and track how far you've gotten through a job. And this is driven by writing comments on the ticket down here below. So again, I've got canned messages I can drop in here. I can drop in a diagnosis message and say, hey, the issue is 15 viruses, and it's going to be, say, $100 to repair. And then you can actually ask the customer. We integrate with SMS as well. And you can also write private comments. That means that they'll only show up for you in your text. When you do that, that all drops down here, and so you've got a stream of all of the updates that you've made to the ticket all in one place. This will also, if you want, send out that email. So the idea is that you don't have to bounce back and forth between, your like Gmail on the side or something like that, or Outlook or whatever, and then jump into RepairShopr, and then you're on your phone sending SMS. We've designed the entire platform to try and keep you in one place, so you've got a really streamlined workflow. You'll see that that checks off the diagnostic step here. We've got the ability to take deposits. You can do part orders and have those get tracked and things like that. So there's a lot of possibilities there. You might have just seen that it integrates with Dropbox. So as you create documents, they're going to be synced to Dropbox. In this case, I'll just go ahead and let's say that the customer actually called. So a lot of our users, they actually like to do work by phone. So you can just say phone in this case, and I can make that an approval message here, and that's going to update that next step. And then I can add charges. So maybe as I'm going through here, I've got my virus removal. I said it was 100, so I'll make that 100. And we can do other things. Maybe you're going to add like a subscription, that kind of thing. We do allow you then to do like follow-up marketing in that case, where you can send reminders to people, 10 days before, so that they can renew that. That can create a good recurring revenue stream for you. And then I'll just let the customer know that this is ready for pickup. Drop down here, say completed, and I've got a pre-written message. And I'll just say, all right, hey, your computer's all set. Maybe include your hours there. Last step then is just to kind of say, okay, great, this is invoice, so I'll make an invoice. And any of those charges that you added as you were going are going to be automatically pulled over to the invoice. We also have time tracking. You may have seen that on there. So you can set a timer. You can put on notes. Just like with RepairTech, this is all responsive. So you can actually use this on your phone or on a tablet. You can make updates remotely if you're doing on-sites, that kind of thing. All that's possible. And I'll go ahead and take payment really quick here. This is we've got a register POS integration. So if you got a register and you want to track that kind of thing, you can do that. I'm just closing the register from the night before, and I'll see in this case we do integrate with Authorize.net and Stripe. You can take payment through PayPal as well, and some people will be using Square, that kind of thing. That's totally fine, or if you've got an existing terminal, that works as well. You would just call that offline credit card, or you could create a payment method for that. So I'll just say offline credit card and say take payment. And that's going to bring me to a confirmation screen. They can sign if they want. And I'll continue on. The last step then, you've got that ticket open, and so you can say, yeah, I want to go ahead and close that ticket. And that basically completes the process. You've completed that job. You've got a paid invoice. We have a template system. One of the things I'm excited to announce, you're kind of hearing it first here, is we have a complete rewrite of our template system for invoices and tickets for anyone who's using the system currently. It's going to be a super powerful WYSIWYG editor, and you'll get really beautiful templates. So that should be out pretty soon. In addition, let me go into the RepairTech integration here. So if you remember, Ian attached something to this Alfie Duff ticket. So if I go ahead and click on that, you'll see that that report actually got pulled over onto this ticket. So I can view that report right from within RepairShopr. It's going to pop that up. And you've got access to all that information right within the platform. We really love that integration. It's been really awesome to work with RepairTech. And we've got some plans, actually. We were just, Ian and Troy and I were just talking last few days. There's a new kind of customer-facing report that RepairTech just released, so we want to look at pulling that in. And I think also allowing you to see your list of open tickets within RepairTech. Whatever tickets you've got in RepairShopr will show up in RepairTech, and then you can just select them from a drop-down, so you don't even have to key those. I think those are some things that you can look forward to coming in the fairly near future. I'll just hit another couple high points in here. We have the ability to create recurring tickets. So maybe you do quarterly maintenance or something for one of your business clients. You can create a recurring ticket there, set the frequency. That's all contained in a list, and it'll automatically generate that ticket for you whenever you need it. We've got the same thing on our invoices. So maybe you have like a service contract with someone. You can create a recurring invoice with them, and I may not have a good one here to do that. We'll just say, I'll just pull this one just as an example. But you can create recurring invoices, and if you are integrated with Authorize.net or Stripe, you can even like directly bill their credit card. And again, that's helping stabilize your business. So you can have that recurring revenue stream in addition to whatever break-fix work that you're doing. I know that helps your businesses a lot. We've got a full inventory system. If you are tracking, things like hard drives or whatever it is that you keep in stock, you can track that. If you are moving into doing some cell phone repair, we're building this so that you can keep track of, the exact PO that an item came in on, and you can trace that all the way back to the supplier. We just added SKUs by vendors, and we're adding a lot of power to the inventory system. As I mentioned, there's the ability to create appointments and assign those to different techs. Maybe you've got a tech who only does on-sites. This allows you to manage that and also communicate with your customers on that. The POS is intended mostly just for people who are, like you've got walk-in customers, they want to buy an adapter or a cable or something really quick, just pay cash. You can ring them out really quick. I can show you that here. I'll take this labor off. Say they want to pay cash. Can say, okay, great, they paid $22. This will calculate the change, and you can ring them out very quickly. Our inventory does allow you to put barcodes on everything. In addition to invoices, tickets, all of those have barcode scanning capability. So somebody can come in and you can put a customer or an asset label on their computer. They come in 6 months later, you just scan it, and I'll bring that customer up right away. We've just added a ton of power to our search, in fact, too. So this is super fun. Whoops. If you do a search here, we've got basically these categories. So you can see the tickets that are open. It's going to search your assets, and it's all structured data. It's really beautiful, and there's more to come there. We're going to be searching like your custom fields and things like that. So let's say that you're tracking the serial number of something. You can pop that in here, and it's going to pull that up. So just a lot of power there. The last two pieces I'll talk about are the leads and marketer modules, and this is really moving from the efficiency side of things to the revenue side. What Troy, in fact, saw, maybe I'll start with marketer here, was that he, and I'm speaking for him, I hope he doesn't mind, but the discipline of exporting your customer list to another system on like a monthly basis, like to MailChimp or something, and running that campaign and saying, hey, you were in last month, how's it going, or that kind of thing. It's, it can be kind of difficult when you're managing all these jobs. So what he did was he built a marketing module that's tied directly into the system. So you get like basically for free this campaign that's going to follow up with your customers, and it can be 2 weeks after or 2 days after. This is all customizable within the system, where you can say, hey, you know, just want to make sure that your repair went well. Let me know if there's anything. This helps you guarantee that you've got happy customers coming through your business, which then drives word of mouth, which I know is so important. And then, you know, a 90-day follow-up or a 6-month follow-up, whatever you want to create. The idea there is that so often you'll find that, like one of your users, maybe they came in for that virus, you fix their computer, they're really happy. Then you check in like 90 days and they say, hey, yeah, everything's great with that computer, but my daughter just broke the screen on her laptop. Can you fix that? So suddenly you have jobs that you wouldn't have had otherwise, and that can basically help you, again, stabilize your revenue so that you're not, you know, waiting for the phone to ring, but you're doing something proactively to really generate that. Same thing here. Our leads module has a number of different functions, but one of them is you can actually put a kiosk in your shop. Maybe you put a tablet or a laptop out there, and your customers can actually check in right from the system. So I'll just put in some quick data here. Maybe skip those. And let's say that this is a hardware and it's a broken screen and help. So you may not get the best information here. This will automatically cycle back to the original screen, so on that kiosk mode, and your customers can't get into the system. If you're not logged in on a computer, this is just a standing URL that's based on your subdomain here. But what will happen is if I refresh, now this flows directly into the system here, and you can say, oh great, you know what, I want to process this, and it saves the people at your front desk a bit of time. You can be like, hey, I think you've got an extra digit in your phone number. Edit that, and then with a single click here, basically create customer and ticket, and that's going to save you a bunch of those steps, you know, if you've got a lot of foot traffic in your shop or whatever. It's also going to check the phone number and email in your database, so it'll match it automatically to the customer if that customer's already in there. We also recently added like two-way email, so you can have some email correspondence with these leads before they even come in. And the reason for that is that we've got a whole bunch of website integration. So if you go here, and we allow you to embed in your website, basically we give you code snippets that say that module that you just saw. If I click here, whoops, if I click here, you can basically just paste this into your the CMS on your website, and boom, you've got a form on your website that's going to talk directly to RepairShopr. So it becomes really powerful, helps you generate those jobs right from your website. We've also got a device check-in module that's fully customizable. So maybe you only do, you know, laptop and computer repair. That's fine. You can customize that. And additionally, we've got like a booking module that this is kind of an alpha of that, but we're going to be adding more power there as well. And then if you're like a real power user, we also have an API, so you can even create your own little widgets and things like that. The last thing I'm just going to touch on, and then we should move to questions, is our App Center. So we've got a ton of integrations. RepairTech is here. That's really one of our favorites, and we're going to be adding more to that as we go. We've got QuickBooks and Xero here. We just added MailChimp as kind of a beta. if people want to use that, that'll suck your customer list over to MailChimp. We've got Teamviewer. We're talking to some other people about potential integrations there, like people have requested Screen Connect or Instant House Call, so we're talking to those guys as well. And then payments. The last thing is we have a really cool printing system. So often with cloud-based like POS systems, you have to pop up a dialog box, print from a PDF, that kind of thing. What we've got here is a Google Cloud Print integration that, let me just jump to it really quick, that allows you to automate all of that. So you'll pull in your printers through Chrome, and then this allows you to say, hey, every time I have a new customer or a new ticket, I want it to automatically print one of those labels. So again, you're saving time, and all that stuff is just happening in the background. There's a lot more I could say, but I'm going to turn it back over to Ian, and we'll maybe take some questions.
Cool. That was awesome. I didn't know you guys had that printer feature. That is really cool.
Yeah, totally.
So yeah, we've got some questions here for you, Robert. Ron asked, how do you add customer referral options?
Oh yeah, so we've got an entire basically like preferences section, just like in RepairTech. So here, if you come under customer preferences, you can add additional referral options. So, maybe you've got a relationship with, we used to hear Radio Shack. I guess that's not true anymore. But let's say that you've got a relationship with another business in town where they send people your way. Maybe you just add something like wherever people are coming from. And then that's going to show up in that drop-down list. And we've got an entire reporting module too. So if I come here and go to reports, and let me find referral. Yeah, we've got a referral report. This is going to show the revenue and actually the net that's coming from different referral sources, and it'll subtotal those, and you can get a picture like, hey, here's all the people that came from X, maybe a specific Google campaign or something like that.
Cool. Nicholas asks, is there a cost or limit for SMS?
Yeah, good question. So we do offer free SMS. I think it's like on the we have different plans. So on the one-man army plan, I think it's I want to say it's 25 free SMS on that one. The RepairShop, I believe, is 100, and then the big chain is 1,000. And maybe Troy can correct me on that. We do sell them. Basically, we sell them at cost, and so I think you can get 2,500 SMS at like $30. It's less than a penny a piece, and we're basically selling those. We use an integration with Twilio, and so we basically just pass that cost on. You can buy those within the platform.
Yeah, we've got RepairShops at 200 right now, but yeah, we are selling those at cost.
Yeah, so the RepairShop plan is 200. And if you're in a different country, we have a lot of users outside of the U.S. Some of those prices are higher, so we have an integration with Clickatel as well, and that's just that allows you a little bit more control, and I think there's different pricing there. So you can review those options based on what your needs are.
Nicholas asks, is there any way to integrate with RMMs? I'm not sure if he's asking about TechSuite or RepairShopr, but I'm assuming RepairShopr because he's the one he asked the question.
Yeah, we have an integration with Max Focus, formerly GFI Max, and we've been working on that one for a while. There have been some requests for other integrations, and I think we'll kind of evaluate those a little bit down the road. We don't have immediate plans for other RMM integrations. This seemed to be the one that we had the most requests on.
Cool.
Yeah. Teamviewer with unattended, that's not really an RMM, but some people use it that way.
Yeah. Just actually to look at that really quickly just so you can see how it works. On the ticket page, we've got the GFI alerts, and I think this is fairly unique in terms of the integration, but this will pull in all of your alerts. So you can review these and then say, oh, you know what, most of these I'm not interested in. I'm just going to clear all, but maybe you grab one and say, hey, I want to actually create a ticket from this. And when you do, I think it, correct me if I'm wrong, Troy, but it'll clear the alert in GFI Max. So it really allows you a lot of power in terms of that integration. So I definitely recommend checking that out.
Yeah, there's no really bulk clear and max focus, but we give you that, and we give you a little bit more control over your alerting. So you can use our notification center, get in-app notifications or SMS or email or post a message to your chat room, or, so all that power of our notification center can hook into those checks, plus bulk clearing. So kind of like we're like an add-on dashboard for that.
Totally. Yeah, what Troy's talking about is we've got a notification center where you can have different events within RepairShopr, notify you by email, SMS. Within RepairShopr, Pushover, which is an app that allows you to send push notifications right to your phone, or Slack, which is kind of, it's the new email killer, which we use internally and really love.
Cool. So we have another question here. I know you can do recurring credit card charges, but is there a way that you can keep credit card numbers or info on record for frequent contract customers inside of RepairShopr? And that was Mika.
Totally, yeah. So if you're integrated with, again, with Authorize.net or Stripe, both of those allow you to save credit card numbers. So you can just come to the customer, say store credit card, and it's going to, depending on what integration you have, you would enter this and save it. And then, yeah, you can definitely, like, if there are just ongoing transactions, you can ring them through right on their credit card as those charges come up, or on, again, on the recurring basis. And just to be clear, we don't handle the PCI compliance part, so these aren't stored on your system or anything. All of that is with Authorize.net and with Stripe, who are the experts in that.
Cool. Another question here. Do appointments work with Office 365?
Yeah, that's a request we've had. Microsoft still doesn't totally play well with the internet. So we've looked at a lot of options there. We have kind of a workaround at the moment for it. If you come to our help here, I think there's an article on this. I suppose this doesn't directly answer the question, but we actually, Troy had a long exchange with people at Microsoft. We're in Seattle, so and they kind of still don't know how to build an API properly for this, if I may say so. So
yeah,
it's something we're looking at. Go ahead, Troy.
Basically, what others in our space are doing is asking you for your username and password, and they're storing it, and they're actually logging into your account on your behalf, like via IMAP, and putting appointments in and out. So they're using your actual credentials and logging in as you, and we just prefer to use OAuth and a REST API, and that hasn't really come yet. So we looked into making Outlook add-ins and didn't really love the flow. We're still looking at it, but for now, you can just add a Gmail account and sync it that way until we figure out a better solution.
Yeah, it's definitely
it's really
something
crazy
we really
that
want to
people
know.
do it that way.
What's that?
It's insane that people do it that way, where they take your password and they just, whatever. It's totally
It kind of scares us. Yeah.
Yeah,
I
and it's
understand
kind
why
of
they're
scary
doing
that
it.
somebody
It's
like
because the
Microsoft
tools
does it.
aren't there, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, so we got another question here from Paco. I have two questions for Robert, which may lead to Ian. One, in Marketer, if a user unsubscribes or was taken down incorrectly and then bounces back, if there is no ticket created for the users, is there a report to view these bounce backs or unsubscribes? Two, is there a way to submit the asset information obtained in TechUSB and transmitted into the assets of RepairShopr?
I think we could Robert, can I jump in for a sec?
Please, yeah.
I think we could pretty easily start to do an asset integration where when those reports come over, we create an asset, and we do give an opt-out report but by far the easiest way to catch those is when you're making a ticket. If it bounces, it's going to show up on the ticket. And if you're syncing with MailChimp, we will sync that opt-out over to MailChimp so you can use their reporting too.
Cool. Jason asks, am I correct in that I can leave TechWater on the customer computer for future service, or am I overthinking that? I often leave tools in a support folder within the C drive. If it is good practice to just leave it there, can it be password protected? Great question, Jason. Yes, you can leave TechWater on the customer's computer. In fact, we have a feature specifically for doing that. I can show that to you real quick. I'm going to take back presenter real quick, Robert. I can show you where you would do that. So in TechWater on the options page, if you go to tool settings, and not tool settings, config file, you can change the startup password here, and you can make that, I'm just going to type in password. You can save that there. And now if I close TechWater and then I open it up again, it's going to ask me for a password, and that's just so that you can ensure that if you leave it on a client's computer, they're not going to tamper with stuff like combo fix. So yes, you can leave it on the computer. We don't limit you in any way as far as how much you can use the application or how many instances you can have. You just need one license per technician. So yeah, you're free to do that. I think there was another question along those lines. Somewhere in here, can I use TechSuite's utilities on a remote session? So while I'm on this screen, I might as well answer that. Yes, TechWater is completely portable, so it's just an executable here. And the first time you run it, what it does is it unpacks this assets folder, which contains all of your different settings and tools. So if you put the third-party tools here, you can see these are the tools that we ran in that demo. So as long as you have this executable, it will unpack the assets folder, and you can just run it within any remote session software. And it can be run from a USB drive or from the system drive. Let's see what other questions we have. Robert and Troy, William is wondering how the Teamviewer integration works. And if you need, I can give you back presenters so you can show them.
Sure.
There you go.
I'm going to pop over to our help section here, and I'll just look for Teamviewer because it's got the probably most helpful screenshots. And maybe Troy can talk through this if there's more details. But basically, what you would do is you would connect to Teamviewer from our App Center, and then that's going to give you the ability to create a Teamviewer session right from the ticket, which then gives you the details for that. And then also that pulls it, you'll be able to see it in your service queue here in Teamviewer. Is there more to say on that, Troy?
No. No, if you're using MaxFocus, their remote control support is also TeamViewer, but this is what the TeamViewer integration does. If you're doing a high volume of these, popping that info over into your TeamViewer.com session list, that service queue, is super helpful to people.
Awesome. Let's see here. A lot of people saying nice things, like the printer feature is so legit. I'm going to set it up now. Cool.
I'll just mention one thing on the printer side is that we're looking at kind of the next gen of this, and we see Star, which is one of the printer companies, is actually creating proper like web printers that will allow you to even skip the cloud print step and print directly like via IP address or whatever. So Troy's been tinkering with that, and I think it'll be really cool. The speed on that is even faster. So yeah, some pretty cool stuff coming there.
Nice. Wade asks, can TechWater be run from a file share instead of a USB so we can keep a central virtual version that all of our techs can use, asking more for keeping a consistent set of batch profiles, etc. Let's see, how can I answer that most efficiently? So in TechUSB cannot be run from a file share. The reason for that, or I guess it could be run from a file share, but it couldn't be run simultaneously on multiple machines from a file share. And that's why we don't recommend it. We recommend running it from a USB drive or within a remote session, but you should have basically one assets folder for each computer repair. So that's why doing it from a file share is kind of complicated. In order to handle the issue that you're talking about, which is having multiple technicians and lots of settings, you can export your config file to TechPortal. So all of your presets here, all of your custom applications, which I didn't really go over, but custom apps are basically the ability to add your own application or another third-party application that we have not added. So you can add anything you want, and it'll show up like any other tool. And all of your other settings, malware automation settings and everything, all that stuff can get synced to TechPortal. And then all of your technicians can import it from TechPortal, and they'll have all the same settings as you. In addition to that, you can go to this Configure TechUSB section on TechPortal, and you can modify those settings from here. And you can share your presets with different technicians. So if you have your technician account, you can share all the presets with the other technicians. That way you have all the same settings across the board. So that's how we would recommend circumventing that issue. Let's see what other questions we got. I understand, Tracy asks, I understand that the inventory module in RepairShopr may get some updates soon, specifically adding the ability for the user to create categories and subcategories. I guess that's more of a comment on if that's done or not.
Yeah, that's actually on our roadmap. So people have asked to be able to divide things into, like, services, and then maybe maybe like whoops, let me show here. Yeah, so I think there's a couple different aspects to this, but yeah, some people have said, hey, we've got categories currently, but could there be like a drill down level of that? So you could have like parts, and then you could say like what device the part is for, or what that kind of thing. So that is on our roadmap, and we're actually really excited to be building out the inventory system. That will then this will take us several months probably, but then that's going to flow into the POS is the idea, so that here you could just have maybe something high level where you've got like 3 or 4 categories, and then you're basically drilling down into those. And there's some technical questions to answer there, but we've been thinking through them, and we're excited to be building that stuff.
Awesome. Michael asks if there have been any updates to the SMS feature over the past couple months, because the last time he used it, he had some trouble setting it up.
We'd be happy to work with you on that. We're not aware of particular issues. Sometimes when people use are in a different country, we do have to manually configure that for that country, and then once that's set up, that should work. But if you want to write us at help@repairshopr.com, we're very, very glad to work with you on an issue if you're seeing it.
Nice. Okay, so let's see. William asks if there's a way to see how much each repair shop makes, because they have 3 repair shops and they want to see how much profit each shop is making quarterly or yearly.
Yeah, so I don't have it right here, but on the we do have a multi-location package, and so this reporting, for instance, is going to show for each location, and then when on a number of the reports, they actually are then broken out, and you have a drop-down. So sometimes you'll see like the consolidated picture, or you can look at the breakout. Maybe I'll just show you really quick. You can yeah, I'll just log in here. You're seeing our internal CMS here for a second. Sorry, CRM. So this is what our like multi-location package looks like. We did an update so for performance reasons so that that breakout, there it is, it's live. So you can see I've got a Capitol Hill location that shows data, and then I've got Vashon Island and Bellevue. That's going to show here. And then again on certain reports, and I don't know offhand exactly which ones, but I believe that we have breakouts by location. So if you just want to see like Bellevue and then run that report, that you can view data specific to a single location.
Nice. Let's see what else we got here. When will we be able to edit label templates and sizes? Asks Ross.
That's a bit further off for us. It's like one of those infinitely deep things because, yeah, there are a lot of different possible label sizes, and kind of going from HTML to PDFs with finicky label printers it's a surprisingly hard technical challenge. So we will be, as part of the inventory upgrade, we're going to be improving our inventory labels there. And that's going to be pulling in additional information so that you can, again, trace things back to the actual like purchase order and that kind of thing.
Nice.
So
Gary
real
asked,
quick,
sorry, go ahead.
Real quick, we have had a superpower user, kind of work around that and use like our notification center or the API to, use their own label printing solution. So if you're into that and that sounds like fun, you can go do that. You can get a notification when there's a new ticket and you can generate your own label and print it. So people have done that.
Gary asks, does TechSuite utilities have unlimited licenses if I repair multiple computers? So the way the licensing works with TechSuite is it's $25 per month per technician, and each technician can run it on as many computers as they want. So we encourage you to run it on multiple computers, and we want you to be as efficient as possible. And the more you use it, the more efficient you're going to be. So there's no restrictions on that. So you don't need a special license to run it on multiple computers. Darren asks, do you have to download TechUSB on each computer? No, I mean you can if you want to, but what most of our customers do is they run it from a USB drive. So you can actually have one USB drive that contains both TechUSB and TechUSB, and you can just bring that around your shop. You can make as many of those USB drives as you want. There's no restrictions on how many instances you can have of each of the software. The only thing is you just need to have one license per technician, so you can use it as much as you want. But yeah, you don't typically see people downloading it on each computer. Usually they're running it from a USB drive. How does RepairTech, James asks, how does RepairTech pricing work with the $99 per month RepairShopr pricing? Is there a discount for 10 techs? So just to clarify, RepairTech and RepairShopr offer two separate products with different pricing. There are discounts for each. So if you are a RepairShopr customer, you get a discount on TechSuite, and I believe vice versa. So I don't know what those are off the top of my head, but there definitely are discounts. For RepairTech specifically, when you get to a higher number of techs, so actually it is at 10 techs, there is a discount per technician.
Yeah, and I would just say you should definitely write us. You can go to RepairShopr.com, and if you haven't already, create an account there. And then if you want, write us at help@RepairShopr.com. We also like to check in with people who have signed up. And Edie from our team, she handles kind of our discounts and is happy to talk about that. So I think we're running something right now that is maybe like, I want to say 20% off for the first 4 months, so kind of an introductory offer. And yeah, so yeah, get in touch with us and we're happy to talk about that.
Nice. Yeah, likewise, just shoot us an email at support@repairtechsolutions.com. If you're a RepairShopr customer and you already have an account, or you're signing up for a new one, just let us know and we'll apply that discount for you.
I'll just say one more thing about that too. Oh, sorry, go ahead,
Yeah,
Ian.
go ahead. No, go for it, Robert.
Yeah, we also, we really like supporting this community. So we do have a free pricing tier for anyone who's, if you've got under 25 tickets a month, you can use the system and kind of add professionalism to what you're doing, and that's a way to kind of grow this into a livelihood. And then the other, as you kind of look at the other packages, what most of our users tell us is that with the marketing module, if it generates just one extra job for you a month, then the system pays for itself, and all of the saved time and all of the additional jobs that you're getting, that's basically just falls directly to the bottom line. So
nice. So Nicholas asks, if TechWire is left on a computer, is there a script that will open it and R run a preset? TechWire has command line options. So you can run TechWire in silent mode from the command line and tell it to run a preset. So you can set that up, and if you wanted to put something in the auto run or something like that on boot, then you could have it do that. Additionally, if you're using an RMM or something, they usually have the ability to run applications from the command line through the RMM, so you could do it that way. Keith asks, for remote purposes, then TechWire would have to be transferred to the target computer, then unpacked. Yeah, I guess so. Screen Connect, though, has a feature called their toolbox. And so we worked with Screen Connect to make sure that TechWire works really well within the toolbox. So if you have the assets folder and TechWire and you put them in the toolbox, you can run it from there. And I guess that does transfer it over to the client computer, but you can have it remove it automatically after that. Jeff asks, do you provide a demo of TechWire and TechUSB? Oh, he needs a free trial. Gotcha. Yeah, there's a 14-day free trial. It's full featured. You don't have to enter a credit card or anything like that. So you're welcome to sign up for the free trial and see how you like it. And if you would like a full training webinar that goes into a lot more detail than we did today, you're free to sign up for one. Amy asks, are the POS items under the POS tab able to be customized?
What happens here, the POS is pulling directly from your inventory. So whatever you've got in your inventory is going to automatically, let me hop over to a different account. It's going to automatically show up here. And there's a sort order column on the inventory as well. So, you probably don't need labor, in fact, showing up in your POS. But you're able then to kind of change the sort order so that whatever you're most likely to be ringing out for those customers is floating to the top. And you can also export this to CSV and do bulk edits and then re-import that, and that's gonna that allows you to do things much more quickly using Excel.
Cool. So we have a question here from Robert Albury. Can we have notifications from RepairShopr go into different channels in Slack?
I think we just had that request recently. Troy, can you speak to that?
Not at this time. We just have the webhook or the Slack channel specified once per account. We can look into that, but yeah, not right now.
The issue there, I think, is just to talk a little bit about the details there. Actually, I want notifications. But what we would need to do, it adds a level of complexity here because you would need for each of these, we'd be pulling in your channels and then you would be selecting them. So yeah, I think that's not something we're looking at immediately, but I can see how it would be a useful idea.
Honestly, we probably would have done that to begin with if Slack gave you like unlimited integrations, but each integration points to a channel and they limit the free accounts to like 3 of those. So for our purpose, we were already maxed out. We deleted one to make room for our internal one, but yeah, we're not paying for Slack to be able to get more integrations.
Gotcha. Let's see here. Right. So Philip says, try D7.2, but it's too complicated. Can I add custom apps to TechWater? Yes, you can. It's very easy. I can show you real quick how to do that. So in TechWater here, if you go to the options page and you go to custom application, you can click new custom app, and it guides you through this form, and you can add a new custom app. And you can either specify to download the file from the internet, which is what I would personally recommend if that's an option. So with that, you're going to give it a direct download URL to the application. So here's an example for Combo Fix. And that makes it so that if the application isn't already on your USB drive or wherever you're running it from, it will download it for you. Alternatively, you can browse for the file locally here. So for example, I could click Project Key or something like that. And then I can specify what category it's in, and it'll show up like any other tool. You can also add command line parameters and everything for it, and then depending on the category you pick, that tool will show up here like it was added by us. So it's pretty straightforward. William asks, can RepairTech do Windows updates? Yes, but it's not 100% automated yet. So if you go to installation/updates, you can use WSU's offline updater, and that's a pretty straightforward tool. It's not fully automated, but it is very, very useful, and it will help you more quickly do the Windows updates. So you can see how it works here. So a lot of you may have already used this tool, but it's pretty straightforward. Once you set it up, you just click Start, and then it is fully automated, but you have to configure it to choose what kind of operating system and what options you want. Let's see here. If Nicholas asks, if TechWater is put onto an external hard drive, are there presets that will auto back up to that drive no matter what the system calls it? I'm not sure if I understand that question exactly. I think what Nicholas is asking is if we have tools for backing up the user's data to the external hard drive. We do. There's a migration tool here. You can back up data. So you pick the partition to back up and the user profiles, and then you can pick wildcards, and it'll search that partition, any additional folders you want, and then you can back it up to a particular file, so you could back this up to your external hard drive. I believe that's what Nicholas was asking. Nico asks, for us Mac specialists, can we use custom applications through TechPortal or TechWater like Disk Warrior, etc.? We don't have a Mac-compatible version yet, but people keep asking for it. And what would really help if you guys want a Mac version is if you could send us the tools that you're using currently on Mac and what you would want a Mac-compatible version to do. We're trying to compile a list of really great Mac tools so that we can understand exactly how people are constructing their checklists for Mac repairs. So I will put my email address in the chat box. If you would like a Mac tool, please send me the tools you need. That would be very, very helpful.
That's great to hear, Ian. We had one of our power users was asking exactly that question, so we'll direct him to you.
Yeah, that would be great. So, because we're happy to make the tool, we just want to make sure that when we make it, we're going about it from a perspective of we've gotten exactly what our customers want out of it. And at this point, I don't think we have enough information as to exactly how people are doing their map repairs. So that's why it's very helpful.
Hey, Ian, that brings up something that's like just good to mention. Like, I think you and I take it for granted, but these are constantly developing like platforms and tools. And so we're always publishing on our blog, for instance. You can see like all of the new features that are coming out. We launched like 50 things in February, and we push code pretty much every day. So the system's constantly getting updated based on user feedback, and I know that's true for RepairTech as well.
Yeah, definitely. I think that, you know, one of the things that we love to do is talk to our customers, and the thing that naturally comes out of that is a lot of feature requests. And so we release new versions of TechWaru and TechUSB and TechPortal all the time. TechWaru typically gets new features every 2 weeks. So yeah, constantly evolving. Okay. Keith Rosa, who actually has left, has a different, here, let me read this real quick. Okay, it's not really a question. Stephen asks, when will you be updating the inventory system? We are new, and I'm not wanting to learn this only to need to learn another system. Is there an ETA so I can know how much energy to put into learning the current inventory system?
Yeah, I don't think you'll have to relearn the system. I think it's going to just be that there'll be more, more power, in fact. So anything, we take great care that when we do updates, we always migrate people as seamlessly as possible. And so if you do create, you know, your inventory in RepairShopr right now, that's going to continue to work just as it does now when we add updates. But things like these new categories, or we're going to, the ability to like kind of track things on an item by item basis, all of that's going to kind of just come for free for anyone who's a current user. And I think that there will be more opportunities, but it won't, there shouldn't be really a learning curve on it, I would say.
Nice. Got that one. Darren asks, in your presets, which ones are being used the most? I find that malware removal has many tools. I think 30 or more, and takes some time and also needs some input. Yeah, I would say the most popular presets, as far as I've seen from the data, are the malware removal preset and the general computer repair preset. Those, the way we look at them is those are starting points. We want them to be plug and play, so you can just, you know, load up a preset and go from the first day that you use TechSuite. But I think they are somewhat starting points for people, and we've worked with a lot of different technicians to ensure that they have all the tools that they need within TechSuite, and we have worked with them to customize presets and stuff, especially with larger organizations. So if that is something that you need, just feel free to shoot us an email, and we'll be happy to work with you on it. But yeah, in general, I think the malware removal preset is probably the most popular one that we have. Ubaldo, I hope I'm not butchering that name, asks, can we transfer current customers from QuickBooks?
This is for RepairShopr?
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't know if I'm going to be able to get to QuickBooks on this account, but yeah, you definitely can. And what you'll see is that I may already be hooked up to, yeah, I'm not hooked up at the moment. But what will happen is when you connect to QuickBooks, you'll go ahead and enter your credentials, and then it's going to allow you to pull in all of your existing, down here it says import customers from QuickBooks. If you're starting fresh with RepairShopr, we strongly recommend that's like the first step, because then what happens is it pulls over all that QuickBooks data, and we get the QuickBooks IDs, which means that when you have like a new invoice for a customer in RepairShopr, we match directly over to QuickBooks. If you have existing customers in RepairShopr, we will try and match based on some like name matching, phone number, email algorithms. But definitely the best thing to do is to import your customers from QuickBooks. And then you can, same thing, if you've got inventory or products, items in QuickBooks, you can import those. And I think on QuickBooks Online you can pull over vendors. So we do support QuickBooks Online and QuickBooks Desktop. The tools for QuickBooks Online are better, and it's more the direction that QuickBooks is going. But we also know that those products are not totally on par with each other, and people have different preferences.
Cool. Nicholas asks if there is a way to share presets. Yes, I will show you. Very easy. If you open up Tech Portal here and you go to Tools and then Configure TechUSB, you, as the admin, can see all of the different settings that you have on your technician account, but also you can see all the different presets that are being used by all the technicians in your shop. And you can add or remove those to your configuration file. You can also distribute them to other techs. So every technician gets their own configuration file, and they can have whatever presets they want in there, and custom apps as well. And you can distribute the presets amongst them very easily. The same goes for custom apps. So you can add, I could add auto runs to my configuration there, and I can distribute this test custom app here to Doug if I wanted to. So it's very easy to do. Stephen asks, can TechUSB create a restore partition on the operating system's hard drive? I'm assuming you're talking about the restore partition that comes with most OEM computers. No, it can't. We purposely have not tried to mess with the hard drive at all because we don't want to damage your customer's hard drive, pretty much, plain and simple, because a lot of things can go wrong, and you're inherently working on computers that have issues. So if the hard drive, for example, has a bad block in it, we don't want to mess it up further. So we've kind of tried to stay away from things like the master boot record and anything partition related other than diagnosing issues. Does TechUSB update itself if a new version comes out? In other words, if there's an update to TechUSB, program will update itself on the next run, but you need to manually update the program. TechUSB has a built-in update system. So if you go to options here, you can check for updates, and then it will actually download and install the update for you. So it's very easy to do, and it will actually notify you when a new update comes out. Jeremy asks, when utilities require a reboot, how does TechUSB handle that? Does it reboot and continue the scan, or does it cancel the reboot? An example would be ADW Cleaner. Great question. So when you run a tool that requires a reboot, so for example, Combo Fix or ADW Cleaner, there's a setting in here called, config file, called Auto Resume Run, and it's either enabled or disabled. By default, it is enabled, and what that allows you to do is when Combo Fix or any other application like that restarts your computer, it will make sure that it starts TechUSB up once the computer reboots and pick up from where it left off. Okay, Kelly asks, is there a way to make a custom barcode for an employee so that we can have them use that to clock in and out?
A custom barcode. We do have a time clock system, so people will be, your team will be logged in, and they would just come to time clock and enter in, their time. It looks like I'm actually already clocked in this case, but I think that it's really quick actually, and there's not currently a kind of a barcode approach. Just the ability in the app to come in and just say, you can just clock in and clock out, and then there you'll have admin users and if you want somebody to be able to manage the clock and kind of see the entries, you can edit those entries manually if you have those correct permissions. So I didn't mention it, but we have an entire security groups module here where you can go through and create different groups of users and say exactly what they have access to or what they don't have access to. So yeah, that was in the admin section as well.
Gotcha. The question. Okay, so there's a question here that says, was just wondering why pay the monthly fee when you can use your own programs that you get for free? What makes RepairShopr want me to move away from what I'm currently using? I feel like they meant to ask us that.
Okay.
I'm not sure because I don't know free programs. Do people usually ask you guys that?
I'm not sure.
Free alternatives to RepairShopr?
You know, there are other tools that are, I think you pay annually or something like that, and of course there are some older POS systems that are kind of one-time purchases. And I think that like we want people to use the tool that's best for them, and so for some people you need something that's kind of very simple, and there are other people who, you know, particularly as you grow and you have a team, you're looking for more power, you know, the ability to kind of customize how you're viewing your tickets or managing that. We've got a dashboard that people can put, you know, up in their shop. So I think that it's very personal, and again, tying this to a marketing module where you do have this automated follow-up with your users that's just triggered off of the fact of them coming in, and then you're, you know, in the background communicating with them over time. People really do say that it pays for itself and that it's a huge boon. But you know, that's going to vary significantly for people.
So just in case that question was for us, Jason, another one of our customers, actually just responded to the previous question. Said, I think that question was for RepairTech, and the answer is because it's highly automated, saves tons of time, utilizes the very latest versions of each piece of software with up-to-date definitions, etc. And yeah, I would just like to build on that. I mean, I was in the computer repair business myself. I was a bench tech, and then I ran a computer repair shop, and I went through the same process of using manual tools one by one, and they were all free tools. I mean, yeah, you can go and repair computers without paying any money. The reason why you would use TechSuite is because you want to grow your business, and you realize that it is a good investment to get tools that will cut your turnaround time in half and increase the consistency and organization of your repairs. It's going to make sure that the quality of your service is a lot better. You're going to have the ability to see what happened on every computer months later if a customer has questions. You're also going to be able to train your technicians faster because you have an automated system that you can put in place for them, and they can kind of learn as they go rather than having to run everything manually. And they'll look like an experienced technician rather than a brand new one. So there's a lot of different reasons, and yeah, you can use free software, and it just really depends. I think that if you want to grow your business, you have to be able to invest in tools that are going to help you do things more efficiently.
I think that's a good way to put it, Ian, is that when you're in the phase of growth, like I think when you're a startup, you are kind of in a cost avoidance, you know, situation because you're trying to, you know, do stuff on a shoestring. I think once you gain a little bit of traction, then you're looking for things that kind of can have a multiplier effect on your time, which is ultimately like the most valuable thing. So I think that things that are saving you time, creating consistency, helping with communication like your reports do, and then actually growing the business, you know, getting new leads and doing kind of automated follow-up. I think those are the things that help people scale and then build their team and all of that.
Right, exactly.
Do you find there's a training aspect, by the way? Like, you know, if you have someone who's maybe a kind of green tech, being able to like point them to a tool and have them just like run with that rather than having to teach them every single step of the process. Is that another like kind of aspect of the use case?
Yeah, definitely. I mean, for larger organizations like franchises and chains, the effect of having an automated tool is it makes them far more efficient because you have turnover, right? I mean, you have employees that leave and then you have to go get new ones and train them, and that takes a lot of your time, which means you're not doing the things you're supposed to do. But in addition to that, the quality of the repairs you're going to get with a new technician are just not as good as an experienced one. And so having a tool where you can say, okay, these are the 5 different presets we're going to run, and if we have a cleanup, you can run this preset, and the technician can run it, and it's fully automated, and they don't really need to know exactly what's going on. But when they're running those tools, they're going to wonder, okay, what does this tool do? And then you can show them. So they can start off doing quality repairs, even if they don't know what the tools are, and then learn over time. And eventually they could go and do all those things manually if they needed to. But it's just kind of a nice way to kickstart the training process and enable them to, on day one, do a repair. Maybe not 100% to its completeness, but they'll at least be able to do 90% of the job.
Cool.
So, yeah, Jeremy says that's why Geek Squad has MRI. Exactly. I mean, yeah, but we all have our opinions about that. So. Okay, so, and Jason says not to mention the reporting value to the customers. Yeah, I mean, that's an additional thing is when you're doing these repairs manually or the old school way, the most organized that you can be is to take notes on some kind of checklist or within RepairShopr or something like that. And that requires you to go and read the logs, for example, if I check this, and then actually discern what happened. Whereas if you use TechSuite, all of that stuff is automatically put in a report for you and then put on RepairShopr. You don't actually need to go and do any information gathering. It's all there for you. So that saves you time, and it makes you look professional because you have a nice-looking report that you can print out and show to your client as you're explaining to them what you did in that repair. So let's see. What other questions do we have? Is TechUSB boot-friendly with both UEFI and legacy modes? Asks David. So it does work on all computers. It's not super... TechUSB isn't incredibly compatible with UEFI in the sense that on some computers you have to turn on legacy boot and turn off secure boot. It's not the end of the world, but it is kind of a pain. Unfortunately, UEFI is pretty complicated to deal with, and we are actively looking into how to fix that issue, but it's not going to affect your ability to run it on computers. It should work perfectly fine in the meantime. Do you need to install both TechUSB and TechWarrow to the USB, or is it included in TechUSB? So I guess that's worth clarifying. TechUSB is a bootable environment. It is built based on Debian Knoppix, which is a popular Linux distribution used for computer repair. And we have customized Debian Knoppix and added our own utilities to it. So it is a Linux-based environment, whereas TechWarrow is built to run within Windows. So they are completely separate, although they're complementary to each other. So you can't run TechWarrow within TechUSB, and you can't run TechUSB within TechWarrow. But the way that we typically see our customers use it is they first run TechUSB and boot into that environment. Assuming everything is okay with the hardware, then they reboot into Windows and they run TechWarrow. It can also be run in safe mode. And you can have both applications on the same USB drive. You just can't use them at the same time. Okay, so what else do we have here? Kelly asks, is there a way to make a bank drop during the day out of the draw?
Yeah, so we have some improvements to the register system that are kind of on our list to look at in the future. We don't have a way to do that currently. It's something that we've had a couple people request, and I think it's a good idea. Different POS systems handle this differently, and so it's one of the things that's on our list to look at with the POS and kind of the register system.
Robert, how's that different than just closing the register midday and printing that Z report?
I think that's another way to do it. Yeah, I think you can definitely close it intraday, and I have heard people say that, there's other questions like, hey, I want to pull petty cash out or those kinds of things. So it's something we're looking at.
Okay, we could get into this on a case-by-case if that question asker wants to contact support, but I think with multiple registers and closing the register midday and printing that Z report, it's showing the transactions that should be there for that time period. I think you kind of probably get there for most use cases.
Nice. Derek asks, can it automatically remove insecure programs such as old Java, known malware programs before running malware removal tools? I think what Derek is trying to get at there, let me take the screen back so I can show him, is removing any applications that would interfere with your ability to remove malware. And the answer is yes. It can't uninstall Java, but it can. We have some things in place that will allow you to very easily remove anything that will interfere. So kill them all, for example, will kill any processes that are not absolutely necessary for running TechUSB and removing malware. So we, in our malware removal preset here, have it back up the registry first, and then it runs killexplorer.exe, so there can be no interference from like the mouse or anything. It removes the start menu and stuff. And then it runs auto kill them all, and it clears the proxy settings, and then it goes down here and does a couple other things, and these are all in preparation for removing malware. So there are quite a few things that do that. I believe that's the use case that Derek was trying to get at, but if Derek's still on, he can correct me on that. Ubaldo asks, in website integration settings, can we add company name field to the start a new ticket?
Yeah, that's not configurable, but what would normally happen is you're going to grab that code and just paste it into a section on your website, so that it's gonna be on your site essentially. If I'm understanding the question, this is basically just going to be like an iframe or whatever that's sitting on your site that people can go to. So you'll have the whole frame of your regular site and then this little piece in there. And your company name and all of that should show up properly. Again, if I'm understanding the question properly. If you're just using, say, the kiosk mode in your shop, then this is, you're seeing my company name, but yours would show up here if you had this. So, you might have that styly logo that Ian showed of my repair shop.
That's funny. I really ought to, just like invest 5 minutes and make a cooler logo.
I don't think so. I think you nailed it.
You don't think so? Okay. All right. I'm going to go take over all the Geek Squad stores with that logo. Okay, so David says, we have found it helpful to put our tools onto a lockable USB key to prevent cross-infection. Will TechUSB run okay if the key is locked, or do you feel this isn't necessary? A lot of customers have asked us about TechUSB. The answer is I don't know. Our testing environment does not currently contain locked USB keys. So theoretically, it wouldn't work because you need to be able to write to the USB drive because it creates things like the reports. So I would say no. It probably doesn't work. However, I don't know. I thought that about Windows 10 also when Windows 10 first came out. Somebody said, does TechWire work on Windows 10? And I said, probably not. We've never tested on it. But actually, it does work fine. So it may work perfectly fine. And actually, we do test on Windows 10 now. But I don't know about the USB keys being lockable. I should probably go buy one and test it out. Let's see here. To recap something earlier, Kenny asks, can one tech run TechWire and or TechUSB on multiple computers for repair at the same time? Yes. So one technician can repair as many computers as they want simultaneously. There's no limit on that. We don't intend on ever putting a limit on that. We want you to run our software as much as possible so you can save as much time as possible. Yeah. Okay, so Darren asks, I think in response to me saying that it doesn't find known applications on the computer before you remove malware. So he says, so it won't catch ransomware then, like toolbars, old versions of Acrobat that some malware programs don't quite remove properly. Gotcha. Well, I will say, so auto kill them all will kill everything. So if the application is running, it won't be running anymore, and then you'll be able to remove malware. It doesn't. We don't have a built-in system that says, oh, this version of Adobe Acrobat shouldn't be there, so let's remove it before we remove malware. However, in the installation/update section, we do have Patch My PC, which will go through every single version of software on your computer and tell you how you can update it. It's pretty easy to use, and it's almost fully automated. So you can do that if you want to update things like Adobe Acrobat. In addition to that, I mean, we have tons of tools in the malware removal section. So if one of those tools can detect ransomware or junkware, for example, junkware removal tool can detect a lot of that stuff, then you can remove it using those. We also have things like rkill and McAfee Stinger, and there's all kinds of really powerful utilities in here. So it will be able to pick up most things. I haven't had many requests for any new malware removal tools. I do realize that there are things like CryptoLocker, however, but I believe, I mean, to be honest, the best way to protect yourself from ransomware is to back up your hard drive properly, and there are certain applications you can run that will prevent CryptoLocker from being able to infect it. Once you already have the CryptoLocker infection, it's very, very difficult to remove it. So in that particular class of malware, I would say the best course of action is prevention rather than removal. I mean, there really aren't any malware removal tools that are effectively dealing with those. So there's nothing we can really do about it. Ward asks, can you turn an appointment into a ticket?
Can you turn an appointment into a ticket? Well, what happens is it works a little bit the opposite, that you can turn you can add an appointment to a ticket. However, if someone is using our bookings module, let's see if I can guess this correct. Yay. All right. So yeah, so if someone creates a booking on here, I won't go through that whole flow, but it will come into the lead section, and then you can process that and turn that into a ticket.
Gotcha. Robert asks, my favorite part of RepairShopr is that over a year of using it, every time I have an issue over the following month, they always resolve it and integrate it into RepairShopr. Is RepairTech's process similar to requests and issues from customers? Yeah, our software is the way it is because of customer requests. We rarely come up with, at least these days, now that we've been in business for a couple of years and the software has gotten to the point where it is, we rarely come up with new ideas on our own. If we add tools or features, it's usually because customers ask us for it. So we very much encourage our customers to submit feature requests or bug reports if they happen to find a bug. I like to talk to customers at least, if I could, once a day, so that I have a good understanding of what issues people are having and how we can help them automate those issues. Yeah, so yes, our process is similar, and that's why it's fun working with RepairShopr, because the products are always evolving, and that's why we're, for example, really happy to do a further integration so we can have the asset stuff that you guys asked about. Okay. Derek says, okay, great. We usually use RTL, temp file cleaner, ADW cleaner, Malwarebytes, ESET online scanner, so it looks like we might be able to use it. Yeah, and if you are using any tool that we don't already have in there, you have two courses of action you can choose from. You can either ask us to put it in and we'll take a look at the tool, and if it is possible to put it in, we will. So things that might restrict that are maybe the end user license agreement is not friendly to repair shops or commercial environments. And so we check to make sure that every tool that we put in there is okay for you to use. So that's one thing that might prevent us from using it. Other than that, we don't typically like putting tools in that can't be automated. So our goal is to put things in that can. And so if something has no way of doing that, we'll typically look for an alternative. But if we don't end up adding it for you, you can add it as a custom app, so you can still have it. Stephen asks, does TechUSB have a batch application uninstall tool? Not really. I don't think we have anything in particular for that. I mean, there's things that will batch uninstall certain aspects of the computer. For example, you can use Oslogic's browser care to remove like toolbars, and we have all kinds of things like that. But I don't think that there is one catch-all removal tool. That's a really good idea, though. Yeah, Nicholas says PC decrapifier. We do have a lot of customers who add that as a custom app. So I don't believe we have that built in. No, we don't. So yeah, a lot of people add that as a custom app. Where do I get a trial? Asks Derek. So I'll answer that on our end, and then Robert can answer that for RepairShopr. To get a trial of TechSuite, it's really easy. You just go to RepairTechSolutions.com, and you can sign up for an account. And it's a 14-day free trial, full featured. You don't have to enter a credit card or anything. And at the end of that, if you decide the software is useful for you, you can keep it. And yeah, it's pretty straightforward.
Yeah, we're the same way. If you just go to RepairShopr.com, you free sign up. Also, no credit card necessary. Once you're in the app, you'll see that you can click and activate a free trial that also goes for 2 weeks. And if you if you just need it for like basic use, you can continue using the free version as long as you want. And then if you're bigger or need more features, then you can always upgrade.
Nice. Kelly asks, my admin homepage changed. I have 4 stores, and it used to show me an overview on the homepage. Now that is gone. Where can I go to get it back? Yeah, we did a performance update, and we were seeing some slow load times on that page, and so we just for like a few days we collapsed those, and those will be coming back out. We have people with like 15 or 30 locations, and those were taking a long time to load, and so we'll be popping those back out for you. So yeah, please don't worry. Nice. Nicholas asks, is there a way to monitor the emails in and out of Marketer?
In and out of Marketer. I think there's two ways to answer that. Troy, any chance, we might not have it on our demo account. Do you remember what the URL is for looking at a campaign's results?
Statistics.
After edit?
This is secret. No,
oh, it is?
This is secret. Don't share it with anybody.
Okay. So you can actually look at some results here. On the campaigns, yeah. Please don't tell anyone. We're only telling like hundreds of people. Yeah, so you can look at your results here. One of the things that we do have on our roadmap actually is to surface some of the communication aspects better. And like if you've got replies to invoices or estimates or Marketer, for example. To surface that maybe in one place. And Troy and I have been talking a lot about different ways to do that. Different systems handle that differently. I think, Troy, do replies to Marketer come into leads currently?
Depends on what you're using as your from address. So if you use like your personal email as your from, you'll get.
Yeah. So yeah, you define the from address here, the reply to address, and if you are using your RepairShopr kind of inbound address, then it's going to go to leads, or if you have the feature turned on so that it automatically creates a ticket, it'll do that.
We're going to add a BCC field there pretty soon, so you'll be able to just get copied on everything if you want. But yeah.
Yeah, I think streamlining and consolidating some of the communication channels is that's on our roadmap for the next 6 months.
Nice. So we have a question here from David. The integration with your own POS system is beautiful, but it's a lot of extra steps when using Square. Any plans to integrate with Square's API, or is it impossible?
Yeah, we get that question, and it's such a kind of killer. Square doesn't actually want to integrate with anyone. What's that?
I just wrote a KB page for this too. I'll paste you a link if you want.
Oh, no kidding. Okay. Yeah, so Square doesn't allow integration. They say they do kind of, but they haven't really approved partners, generally speaking. So what we are working on, though, is some people have said that authorized.net, particularly when you're like a smaller business, can be expensive. And so we're working with a few payment providers to find a really good integration that is going to allow us to work across different platforms. Square, I have to be honest, I don't foresee them actually opening up. They really want to be like a dedicated POS and not have all that much flexibility that way. By the way, they do say they have an API. It's really for reporting. It's not actually for taking payments. And then they have an in-app version that we just haven't actually seen anyone get to work. So,
more specifically, they've got a web-based reporting API that can now do refunds, but no payments. And they've got an iOS hook where if you've got an iOS app, you can pop over to their app for the payment and then pop back. When we do go iOS, we're not going to be popping out to anyone else's app. We're going to have it integrated and have better rates than Square. So that's what we're working on.
That is the other piece, is that Square actually, particularly as you grow, their rates are not, in fact, very good. So they're highly convenient, but the rates we hear from people are not actually the best.
All right, so we already answered that question. Rodrigo asks, I'm from Mexico and I'm interested in a translation. I would love it if my Spanish was that good. Unfortunately, I didn't take the 4th year of Spanish. You could help. Okay. I'm not sure how. This is going to go up on YouTube, actually, and there might be a way to add annotations to it. I'm not exactly sure how that works because I've never done it on YouTube. So there may be a way for you to actually help. Anyway, I will look
Do
into
you
that.
want to translate this call or our respective softwares?
Oh, good question.
Yeah.
I
So we
was
get this
assuming
question a
webinar.
lot.
But Rodrigo, are you asking about the software? Okay, yes. Yeah, actually, we've considered for a long time internationalizing the software. It's a lot of work and would require a significant amount of effort. Right now, I don't think it's really feasible because of the roadmap that we have. In a couple months, we may be able to explore that again. I know that we are experimenting with that for a new product that we're launching called Kabuto. And I can show you that real quick. Let's see here. So Kabuto will allow you to change all of the text within it, so you will be able to actually put Spanish in there if you want. So depending on how that goes with Kabuto, we may do the same thing with the rest of TechSuite. And I'm guessing with RepairShopr, you can probably just use Chrome to translate it, right?
We haven't tested that. I think just to answer that question, we don't have plans to translate the app itself, and it's mostly it has to do with us keeping a good speed to our development process. Plus, there is localization, internationalization is a big project. However, we have made most of the customer-facing aspects of the app translatable. So our new template system is going to be even better at that, but we allow you to customize your email messages, your SMS messages, your templates. A lot of those pieces can be translated, and we've also been working with an internationalization company so that the customer portal that your customers can access, that will be able to be translated. And we've tried that out a number of times, and the company we're working with is just working on performance issues on their technology there.
Nice. Okay, so I think we went through most of the questions here. We'll probably have time for like one more. So if you guys have any burning questions, submit them now, and we will try to get to them. Here's another question here from Kelly. Oh no, we answered that one. Kelly says, we want to make employee name badges that will have a custom barcode for them to use to clock in and out. I believe you covered that already, Robert.
Yeah, we don't have a barcode approach to that at the moment. Yeah.
Yeah. Darren asks, why does Hitman run so quickly? It finishes in less than 2 minutes. That doesn't sound like it's supposed to do that. Hitman takes a while. Unless you're running it on a computer, I guess if you didn't change the system drive, so in TechUSB, in the options, you go to tool settings. If you're running it on a computer that has the target partition not as the C drive, you may want to change that, because if you're accidentally scanning the USB drive or something and it only has 1 GB on there, then maybe that would account for why Hitman ran so quickly. You just didn't have that many files to scan. But if you're encountering that a lot, then please let me know, and I will attempt to figure out why that's happening, because Hitman should not run in less than 2 minutes. Yeah, but it looks like that is all the questions. So I appreciate everybody coming out, and this was a lot of fun. We went way past when we thought we were going to, and luckily this is recorded, so if anybody else wants to watch this and didn't get a chance to, they'll be able to on YouTube soon. Robert and Troy, do you guys have anything you want to add before we sign off?
No, just thanks again for organizing, and yeah, we really appreciate what you guys are doing for the community, and I look forward to collaborating more and making our integrations even more powerful.
Yeah, definitely. It's always fun working with you guys. All right, cool.
All right.
Thanks, guys. Talk to you
Yeah,
later.
thanks. Take care. Bye-bye.